What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new YouTube video. Today is going to be a little bit longer of a video, guys, so forewarned is forearmed. We're going to do a little bit longer of a video to explain every step of the process behind how to actually start your own print-on-demand business as your own website, okay? So this is going to be a little bit different. How to start your own print-on-demand business in 2022, okay? We're going to be going over all this. It's going to be a lot. So just so that, we put it out there, it's going to be a lot. The thing is that the reason why we have to talk about this is because even though, yes, we're creating art on other platforms like Redbubble, like Zazzle, etc., there's still things that we need to cover for ourselves. There's still bases we need to protect ourselves on. And if we don't protect ourselves here and now and we create our own website, the problem is that we are 100% relying on the large companies. When you rely on the large companies, you're at the mercy of the large companies. So it's going to create a few problems with that. Now, in reference to the work that we're going to be doing, I'm going to go ahead and explain all of that right now. With Zazzle, guys, I want to go ahead and talk about Zazzle for just a minute here. Zazzle, I've been getting comments about Zazzle. We will make tutorials in the future. We also have a course coming out on Zazzle, a tagging course. I've been asked maybe about 30 times by now in the comments about it. I will be addressing that. We do have a tagging course coming out for Zazzle. And after I made that one Zazzle video where I said, it's all about tagging, a lot of people wanted to learn about that. So don't worry, we're going to have segments on all these platforms. We're going to have segments on T-Fury. We're going to have segments on T-Chip. We're going to have segments on, all these different platforms. We will jump into Zazzle. We're constantly talking about Redbubble. We're going to be doing a lot. But today we're going to be talking about designing your business, creating an actual business that you own the rights to. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. In the print-on-demand world, okay, you have two different kinds of businesses. You have a print-on-demand, you have a POD, non-controlled, and you have a POD, full-controlled. And what do I mean by that? And some of you already know what I mean by what I'm saying. The non-controlled ones are going to be the examples like your Redbubble. It's going to be like your Merch by Amazon, like your Zazzle, okay? The only thing you could really do here is you can upload designs, okay? Upload only. That's all you can do. So other than tagging, other than titling, that stuff is obvious, but that's the only thing you can do is upload. You're not going to be able to customize your website. You're not going to be able to add, certain call to actions. You're not going to be able to add certain scarcity tactics. This is all you're going to be able to do. This is a non-controlled, okay? Now, there are benefits to this, there are drawbacks, and we'll explain. In the POD, full controlled, there are places where you can create your own website. And the thing when you create your own website, what happens is that you have full control, and there are, like I said, drawbacks and pros and cons. So let's go over the pros and cons very, very quickly. Like I said, majority of you already know this because you are constantly watching our channel and you already know about this, but let's talk about it anyway. The full control. The pro is that you have full control, meaning if you want to set something up in a certain way, or if you want to design something a certain way, or if you want to write something in your description, nobody can tell you no. It's all up to you, and you decide what you want to do with it. The con about this, the full control, is that you are responsible for your own marketing, and marketing is the number one thing that people struggle with, okay? Now, there's different ways to do marketing, and we'll talk about that in literally a few minutes when we give our tutorial as to how to actually do this, but with POD, the non-control is they'll take care of some of the marketing. Not all, but some, okay? They'll take care of some of the marketing, and it's your choice, whether you're a seller or not, to either leave it all up to them or also be involved. People that run these type of businesses as their full-time businesses, and this is their only business that they're running, they typically do engage in marketing themselves. So it's like a kind of like a dualistic approach. They do some marketing and so does the platform. So there are some people who just don't care and they just put up their designs and they just hope that it sells. They're kind of lackadaisical with that approach, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the one, like I said, the pro here is that they're going to be doing some marketing for you. There's going to be some dollars spent on you for marketing, whether it be for ads, whether it be for email marketing, whatever the case may be. Okay? And what that does is that you have to have less technological knowledge. Now, I want you guys to be aware of something. What job in the marketplace that we have today gets you paid more for less experience? I'm going to repeat that. What job in the marketplace today gets you paid more for less work experience? The answer is no job, okay? There's nothing that gets you paid more for doing less or for not knowing less. So therefore, these are typically more profitable. However, the biggest con of these platforms, and this is the biggest thing that people complain about, is that they have their work erased. As soon as they make a certain level of mistakes or they're not interested in the platform or whatever happens, they will get removed off the platform. Now, this is not a guarantee for everybody, but this does happen to a large group of people. It's not like this happens to 0.5% or 0.25%. No, this happens to a significant amount of people, to the point where I get messages on a daily basis of people saying, I lost everything I worked for. I lost everything I worked for. All the months and all the years of hard work is gone. It's erased. I contacted them. They did nothing about it. Well, that's pretty typical in these communities. Why? Because the non-controlled, you have hundreds of thousands of people joining these platforms to go ahead and sell on their platforms. And I'm not saying one is bad. I'm not saying one is good. They are both going to come with their benefits. They're both going to come with their drawbacks, okay? There are some people who vehemently oppose one over the other. I prefer to do both. I wouldn't say, pick one over the other. I would say they're both financial opportunities. Do both, okay? So now let's go ahead and talk about the POD full control and what that actually entails and everything to set up about it, okay? So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have a website hosting platform, okay? So there's a whole bunch of these website hosting platforms, and we're going to make a video specifically for website hosting for your print on demand. But you have to ask yourself, what are your capabilities? What are your skills? If you have no skills, that will actually blend into how fast you want to go and which platform you're going to want to choose. So I'm just going to blurt out a few examples. You have Shopify, for example. You have WooCommerce, which is WordPress. So I'll just write Woo/WordPress. You have Wix, for example, right? Let's put a comma here. You have Wix. You have Duda, for example. You have let's see. There's so many others. I mean, the list could just go on and on. You have I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to list too many, but I'll just leave it at that. So you have many different platforms, okay? Each platform is going to come with its own nuances, meaning its own learning curve. So if you're familiar with the bell curve, okay, there's a certain amount of time, and this is supposed to be flat, but there's a certain amount of time that the average will learn something in. You will probably be somewhere here. If you're extremely, extremely tech sufficient and you know what you're doing, you're going to be somewhere over here if you never use these platforms. If you have no idea what you're doing with tech in general, you're going to be somewhere over here. Now, either way, guys, I don't want you to worry about any of this. Why? Because whatever platforms we use, I'm going to go through step by step, minute by minute, second by second tutorials to do all of this. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this step by step. So I don't want you to worry about if you're technically sufficient or not, or if you know what you're doing with tech. I don't want you to worry about that whatsoever, because in the future, like I said, I'm going to take you step by step to show you everything. And when I say step by step, I mean that. I'm not going to be cutting anything out. Everything is going to be shown literally piece by piece. So that's what I mean. So first, you're going to need a website hosting plan, okay? That's going to come with its own costs. And every platform has a different cost. So for example, with Shopify, it's not unheard of for you to spend $200-$300 a month, maybe even $100 a month, depending on what you're going with. Now, Shopify has 3 plans. They have a $29 plan, they have a $69 plan, and they have a $297 plan, $299, something like that. You're going to most likely go with the $29 plan, but you're going to have to pay for apps and different things that improve your store. Well, there's other platforms where you don't necessarily have to pay as much, but you'll have to pay more upfront, right? So they're just different. Now, the thing is with Shopify, when I recommend with Shopify, you're going to need a certain website theme, a Shopify theme. Now, with these Shopify themes, okay, some are better than others, okay? And a lot of people make the huge mistake, I'm going to capitalize the word huge mistake of going with a free theme. The reason why this is a big problem in the Shopify world is because the free theme, it has only one feature, and that it presents your products. That's it. It doesn't tap into any of the cognitive biases. I'm going to write cognitive biases, the ways human beings think, right? Cognitive biases to actually get sales, okay? So what you're really doing is, if you end up going with a free theme, you're going to be paying hundreds, if not thousands, Could be monthly or yearly in applications that will run up your monthly payment on Shopify, or if you go with the right paid theme, because not all paid themes are good. Some paid themes are garbage. I'll be 100% honest with you. If you go with the right paid theme, you're going to save hundreds, if not thousands, on a monthly basis, but you're going to pay a little more upfront. Okay? So a paid theme could be, let's say, $200. You pay that cost of the theme, and it will make you pay less monthly. Okay, so that's just kind of the idea. So either way, you're going to be spending your money here. This is not something for the people who are, interested in not making, any profit. If you're not making any profit and you don't want to spend any money, then this is not for you. Starting your own website is not the plan for you. Typically, you should have some sort of job or something like this that should be able to fuel your income. Okay, or fuel your print-on-demand business. You're not going to be able to literally have $0 and 0 cents and hope that something works out. That typically doesn't work out for 99% of the people. And the more free you go, the more lean you go, which is a huge fallacy. People think that being free is better. That's not the case here. You're going to need a lot of resources to make this thing work, okay? And if you really want to make it work, understand that you're competing in the most competitive industry in the world, which is clothing, okay? So there, you got to be aware of that. And I unfortunately had a rude awakening to that when I started my first business, but thank God I got that covered. Okay, so after you pay for hosting, you're going to have to cover your website domain / email marketing costs. Okay, so something you're going to need is email marketing. This is not a negotiation. This is not a observation. This is a guarantee. Okay, it's going to save you in the long term money, but you're going to have to pay for that. You're going to have to pay for the name of the website, which is typically cheap, most times $12, $14, $15, $16, $20, and then the monthly of the email marketing, which really differs. The size of your website, it could be $600 a month, it could be $20 a month. The thing that I always say is email marketing is making money from the people that you've already gained. So this is kind of a necessity, all right? So let me go ahead and refresh the page so we can continue working here. We already talked about the hosting, and we talked about the domain fees, like the domain name, the all those different aspects to it, okay? What else now? Now we have different things. Then we have the design of the website. You have to ask yourself, who's going to design it, okay? The reality is what beginners tend to do is they first believe that they can do it themselves, which they absolutely can. But in a week, 2 weeks, they start giving up, and then they start looking to hire designers. You have to be able to incorporate this cost if this is something that you're going to do. So a designer can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, depending on what you're doing, to even $300. I mean, it just differs. Now, if you go to Fiverr and you pay $300 for a designer for your website, understand that you're going to be getting Fiverr level results, which is essentially the same as just doing it yourself as a beginner. So I do not recommend that you end up paying for a designer unless you have the cash for it and you're just trying to speed up. I always recommend that you learn how to do this stuff yourself. Now, in terms of the design, what will help you as well is if you get the right theme. The theme will help this as well because they have built-in design features that will help your website seem more attractive. Now, why does a website seem more attractive? Why does that even matter? Well, it matters a lot because consumers, when they come to a store online, it's no different than when they come to a store in real life. They want to see a clean, organized store that's, imagine you walked into a KFC and there was a rat or cockroaches, running through the grounds. You would be freaked out and you would walk right out and you would never go eat there again. Well, it's the same thing in the online world. When you create a store, it has to be attractive. It has to have some attributes. It can't just look, no offense, like garbage, and that's what majority of people are doing, and they're losing on all their customers. So realize that the way your store looks has everything to do with your success. If it's pixelated, if it's unattractive, if it's unorganized, if the images aren't done right, that's going to hurt. Which is why we need to talk about modeling. So when you create a product, okay, you're going to need two aspects to the product that are going to also look attractive. The actual product design, okay, and the content to promote the product. So content. Where are you going to get the content? You're going to get it from Placeit, okay? There's a website called Placeit, which you can create your design and you put it on these different mock-ups, these different models, these different, characteristics like this, and it will help market your products. If it's a good product design, they're going to work synergistically. They're going to work hand in hand to help each other out to boost the morale of your store and boost the stock of your store by increasing your potential sales. So at this point, guys, we've covered, let's just go ahead and talk about this. We've covered the website, hosting, the domain, right? We've covered the email marketing cost. We've covered the products in terms of how they look. We've covered the place it. Now we missed a few things. The next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to sign up for a manufacturer/distributor. This wouldn't be print on demand if it wasn't for this step. So, what is a manufacturer/distributor? So this is going to be the individual or the factory, and I'll try to draw a factory here, but this is going to be the factory that ends up creating your t-shirt and ships them out their doors, okay? And they're going to be creating, and it doesn't have to be a t-shirt, by the way, but they're going to create your merchandise, and they're going to ship it to your customer's house, okay? And your customer is going to have a nice big smile on their face once they get their product, right? So that's what they're going to do. But the only way that they're going to do this is you have to actually get the customer. And let's say you charge the customer $30 for whatever they got, and you end up paying $15, then you get to keep the profit, which is in the middle, which is about $15 after you pay your taxes, after you pay, your fees and, everything with associated, depending on which platform you go with. That's going to be the fee that you end up paying, okay? You're going to keep it what's in the middle, but you're going to have to sign up for a manufacturer. Now, there's a bunch of these. I'll just list out two of them. For example, you have Printful, okay, which is a very big one, and then you have Printify, okay, which is also another big one. So you have a few, and there are a few more. I just haven't mentioned them. This video would take a long time if I have, but that's another aspect. Well, if you think we're done yet, nope, we're not done yet. There's a little more to it, okay? And now we finally get into marketing, which is the meat and potatoes. Without the marketing, it doesn't matter what you do else in the business. Nothing else will help you win without the marketing. Nothing else. The reason why this matters is because without the marketing, guys, your designs mean nothing. Your hard work on your websites mean nothing. Your effort means nothing. Without the marketing, you have nothing. Okay? I'll explain what marketing is and how you actually can go about this. Well, as you know, what marketing is where you promote, keyword promote, your products to the marketplace, to the people who have a potential desire to buy. Okay? Well, how can we actually do marketing? Well, we have one aspect through paid advertising, which I actually do recommend here. Remember that through the other videos, I actually used to not recommend paid advertising, but don't get it confused. That was for platforms that you do not own, so Redbubble, Zazzle, etc. I do not recommend you spend paid advertising money on platforms you do not own. Since you own this platform, I do recommend you use paid advertising. If you could do it profitably, which is completely possible, if you do it profitably, it's essentially turning on a money machine, okay? You're going to put money in, it spits money out back, okay? What you need to do is you need to nail down your conversion rate, and you need to nail down your, after your conversion rate, your customer acquisition cost, okay? Customer acquisition cost. Now, there are things that matter with this, and I'll explain what it means. If your conversion rate, let's say, is 5%, I'm just using this as an example here, okay? And it costs you $100 to acquire a customer, you have to logically be able to discern, based on the customer average order value, or the COV, average order value, right? Average order value, which is not COV, it's AOV. You have to be able to discern how much money is it going to take for the consumer to buy to actually make you enough money. Well, let's talk about it. So if it costs you $100 to acquire a customer, really what that means is that, and you might ask me, well, how do I know how much it costs to acquire a customer? Well, we have to reverse engineer. $100 to acquire a customer generally means that, and this is an example, if your CPC is $1, what is CPC? It means cost per click. If your cost per click is $1, that means you're driving 100 people to your website. If it takes, if you have a 5% conversion rate, right, then that's essentially not the same. What this means is 1%. I apologize. If you have a 1% conversion rate, that means one person out of all 100 here is going to purchase. If you have a 5% conversion rate, that means 5 people are going to purchase. Your customer value, your customer acquisition cost, let's say, is $100 for 1% conversion rate, or for one customer. This is the default right here. This is 1% is the default, right? But if you spend more, it could be, you could get 2 customers, 3 customers, etc. But we don't want that. We don't want to spend more and get more customers. Why? Because we want to spend less and get more customers. So what do we have to do? We have to boost our conversion rate, which is this number, this word up here, conversion rate. If we boost our conversion rate, then the number out of 100 visitors will increase, right? Or the consumers out of 100 visitors will increase, and therefore we'll make more profit, right? So let's just go ahead and kind of reset this here, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. Let's say we have $100 to spend on ads, and let's say our cost per click, our CPC, is $1.12, okay? What this means is that if you run an ad and everybody clicks on that ad, each person who clicks, you're going to be spending $1.12. Let's just assume that's the case, okay? Now, let's just say the average product on your website is $25, and let's just say the average order value is $50. You have to be able to say, okay, do I have enough to essentially, am I going to make money on this ad? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's whip out the calculator, okay? So the calculator the formula basically states we don't know what our conversion rate is, okay? Let me just put it this way. We don't know what our conversion rate is, and you're typically not going to know until you actually run ads to your store. This is why I say, and I stress so hard in the lessons that are going to come up in the future, your conversion rate matters the most. Your conversion rate matters the most. Why? Because this is going to help you decrease the cost of your ads, okay? Your conversion rate matters so much. I'll explain. If we have $100, okay, and each person is going to cost us $1.12 to get to our website, we have to figure out how many people at max can we drive to our website, right? And this shows us that we can drive a total of 89.2 people to our website. So let's just go ahead and do this right now. 89.2. Okay, so that's what $100 in ad spend will get us. It will bring us 89 people to our website. Not too bad, right? If we know that our average order value is $50, meaning if just one person buys, right? If just one person buys, it will be on average, there'll be $50 spent. Well, what that really means is that we need a conversion rate probably above 5% to actually make any money. Why? Well, I'll explain. If we have $100 in ad spend and we bring 89 people to our website, let's just say for the sake of numbers, to make this simple, let's say we have 90 people, right? If we drive 90 people to our website, okay, what is 1% of 90? Well, let's go ahead and do the math on that. 1%, 1 divided by 90 is what? It's 0.011. So if I move this over, you're looking at 1.1%. Well, if your store had a 1% conversion rate, that would mean that if you drove 90 people to your store, you wouldn't make any money. Well, let's assume that your store had a 5% conversion rate, right? So out of the 90 people that you drive to your website, 90 times the 0.05, right, which is the percentage, that would mean 4.5 people would end up buying and not one person. Well, why does this matter, and why does this matter for your profit? Well, if I drive 90 people to my website and my conversion rate is normally 1.1%, that means or let's just say 1% rather, I'm not going to make any money, because with a 1% conversion rate, I would need to drive at least 100 people to make even any kind, or break even rather. Not even break even, but make some sort of sale. Now, here's the thing. If my conversion rate is 5%, that means with the 90 people that will come, that means 4.5 people will end up buying out of the 90. Well, if 4.5 people end up buying and the average order value is 50, 4.5 times 50, because each consumer is going to pay 50, right? And we can't work with halves here, so let's just estimate downward, because there's no guarantee of estimating up. So let's just go ahead and do 4 times 5. That's 200, right? That means we're making a total of $200 in terms of income off of the $100 that we spent. Now, it doesn't end there. You have to kind of value your profits and costs and things like that. So let's say you spent $200, or excuse me, let's say you made $200. This is your top line revenue. Okay, top line revenue. Well, if you made $200 and you spent $100 on ads, well, what left do you have? You have $100. Well, you have the cost of those actual products. So if you remember, we said the average cost, the average product is, let's say, cost $25, but let's say it cost you $10. And we had 4.5 customers that bought 2 of each. So really what that means is that we're multiplying this by 4.5 and then by 2, right? Because each person is buying 2. So what they're really buying here is, this is the cost, 10 times 4.5. Let's go ahead and clear this. 10 times 4.5 is equal to 45, right? Times 2, which is equal to 90. So then the $100 that you have left, we're going to subtract this by 90, and you're getting $10 in profit. So what you have left is $10 in profit, assuming that we didn't take into consideration cost of shipping, cost of ads, cost of things like that. This is why you have slim margins. So as you can see here, there are certain variables that you can control to actually make money. And what are those variables? The first variable is your conversion rate. The second variable is your advertising spend. The next variable is your quality of skills. So when we create different designs, it's design quality that matters, right? It's the money-making opportunity behind the marketing, right? If you get smart and you learn how to advertise or market without spending very much money, that's a smarter approach, right? Your skills are going to make a huge difference. The next one is going to be your theme of your website. How does your theme look? How does your website look? What kind of cognitive biases does it play into to help you increase the amount of sales you get? All these things play into consideration to a role. So I figured I'd teach that aspect real quick, just so that you're aware of that. But let's get back into what we described. What is marketing? So we mentioned Facebook ads, and I actually do recommend these, and there's ways to get them done properly. Facebook ads. Well, what's next? What after Facebook ads can we do? We can do Instagram ads that we can pay for. We can do Pinterest ads. Well, everything that we could pay for here, we could also do organically, so we don't have to pay for it organically. And I've actually showed how we could do this for a one-time fee organically instead of waiting for a very long period of time to grow. Because the problem with organically, guys, what organically means is, let's say Facebook. I create a Facebook page. I start posting a bunch of photos and videos. What's going to happen is, over a period of months, I'm going to grow very, very slowly. Very slowly. And the problem is with growing slow is that I'll never be able to make money off my print-on-demand store if I'm growing slow, because not enough people are going to see what I'm selling, right? So this is the problem. When I grow organically, it's going to hurt me because it's too slow. So what do I want to do? I want to grow using bots, using automators, which is relatively free. When I say free, take that into consideration. It's $100 for a tool, but you get to reach out to thousands and thousands and thousands of people using these tools, right? So you get attention of thousands of people using these tools without actually, paying monthly for it or anything like that. Well, take that with a grain of salt. You're going to be paying drastically less for Facebook ads, right? Because there's some tools that you can pay monthly for, and there's some tools that you can pay one-time payments for. So they just differ, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say here, all right? There's different tools for different purposes. And I'm not going to go over what those tools are today. All the links of the tools will be in my description box down below, and I've made videos on them. So if you want to actually learn about them, they're all in the videos, and I've shared them before. But so everything that you could pay for with ads roughly, you can also do for free or low. But when you pay for free, you're going to have very low results. When you use the automation tools, you're going to have results. Obviously, it's not going to be as high and as scaled as advertising, because I could pay $20,000 on ads and I can reach out to, let's say, 40,000 people. With a tool or an automator, you can't do that. You can't reach out to 40,000 people because there are limits. You could reach out to a certain amount of people every month. That might be 5,000, that might be 6,000, that might be 4,000. Just depends on your Instagram account or your Facebook, things like that. It depends on your account, okay? Pinterest, there's certain methods and certain strategies behind that. I've actually been making a killing with Pinterest, and I've been speaking about this before for the past few months. I've been doing Pinterest, and I'll be coming out with a course on Pinterest soon. But you could see here that there are different things you could do. Well, what's another way that you could do your marketing, right? Well, you could start a blog. And a blog is not that hard, because a blog, all you have to do is write content. I know a lot of people who are watching this are authors, and they actually love to write. You can write stuff. Google picks it up, puts you in the search algorithm, and now you're getting hundreds of thousands of free visitors to your website. And that's a way to do this. And we've actually had a few requests of people showing us how to do this, and we're actually going to show how to do it soon, right? So that's another way. And so you can get creative with your marketing, but that's essentially what it's going to take, okay? So it's a lot of work, guys, to print-on-demand business, but if you can make it work, you're going to be basically going for a huge profit margin. Obviously, you do have more control, but there's a lot more benefits to this, okay? And this is not something that's get rich quick, and you're not going to get this on its feet the first 10 days. This is not something like that. You guys got to realize that the hard part about business is getting it off the ground. And so once you get it off that ground phase, you're good after that. Like, there's no hard part after that. So, something I want to say is we're going to be doing a lot of videos in the future about different print-on-demand, around different money-making tactics, tutorials, steps, tutorial videos, guides, softwares, all the things behind the scenes. In fact, we've been making a killing on Etsy as well by doing the right keyword research, doing the right things. And if you're interested in that, I actually have on my website a section called the Etsy Helper. I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. If we go over here to autopilotpassiveincome.com, go over here all the way to the right side. Do you guys actually see this or no? Yep, you guys see this. Etsy Helper. There's a button that says Etsy Helper. I want you to click on that. This is the software that I use, and then these are Etsy-related SEO videos that are step-by-step kind of stuff, like how I do the keyword research, how I find products that I could sell, things like that. So you guys should check these out if you're interested in Etsy, and if you like to diversify the kind of way I like to diversify, all right? I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.